But history being rewritten, like the Statue of Liberty, not only is it on the wrong island, but it was bombed in 1917. A terror attack on his country before Pearl Harbor. If you don't remember that, or if you just don't know your history, shame on you. Really, shame on you. The Lindbergh baby was the crime of the century. No one knows, or no one knew what happened. But someone's actually went to jail for that. And there's tons of evidence out there. You just gotta look for it. There's what we call residue or residual. Everybody has their theories on how this is happening. Everyone looks at CERN, but I don't look at CERN. I look at the D-Wave computer. And yes, it has something to do with CERN. They actually admitted it. These dimensional wave computers, if you pay any attention to CERN and D-Wave, you know that they said it with their own words. They are creating one timeline. There's so much proof out there. Okay, to me, I will tell you what happened to me with the Mandela effect. When I go from choice A to choice B, did the Monopoly guy have a monocle? Yes, he did. I played Monopoly a lot when I was a kid, okay? I loved the game. I had 4 books growing up. The Berenstain Bears, Berenstein, I used to call it. My dad hated it when I called it that, but I did that to jag him. I had Curious George, which to me had a tail because I remember being 5 years old and asking my dad why he has a long tail. And that's how I learned that animals use their tails to balance themselves. So, these things hit home for me, okay? And my sister doesn't even know about the Mandela effect. And I was just asking her questions randomly, just like, hey, do you remember this? Like, and she remembers everything the same way I do. Wrongly, according to, well, Snopes, which is like, like the worst source in the world. They'll debunk something 2 minutes after it came out without doing any research, which is probably a Rothschild or Rockefeller publication. I forget. I always vet my sources thoroughly. Before I even trust any information, I vet the source. Most Christians that aren't truthers will never believe it, no matter how much proof I give them. And I'm not just going off the proofs on YouTube, okay? Now, those things are for grabs, all right? I didn't start getting interested into the Mandela effect until I realized, well, you've seen the videos. You get a choice A or choice B. Basically, the timeline it is now and the things that we remember. Now, if I was just to get some of them wrong, 50-50, 60-40, memory problems. You could debunk any single one of them one at a time, but when you add all the evidence together, like in my instance, I have a pretty decent memory, and I was a big history buff before I became a truther. Right or wrong, I watched a lot of History Channel, Discovery Channel, Discovery, National Geographic, on and on and on. Like, I loved history. I don't watch TV anymore, but you get my point. I loved history. I was a student of history my whole entire life. So, logos, changing. They could have been rebranded or whatever, which isn't the case. Lines to my favorite songs, and worse yet, my favorite movies, like Star Wars. Okay, if you're going to convince yourself that you're remembering it wrong, you're not trusting yourself. And I've learned to trust myself with these things. And it's not just the things I saw on YouTube, alright? Those little things I can let go. And you come to a point where, like, everything I've been taught my whole life is a lie. Everything. From our rewritten history, the theoretical science, like, you just don't know what's true.
The thing that gets on my nerves the most is you like to say, oh, your mind's messing up, you're not thinking of the right thing, yada yada yada. And I thought to myself, okay, but if we did have we were all thinking about something else, right? Why is it that we all have the same collection of the same um, words, for instance? My thing is like, okay, if we all are forgetting words and it's just like messed up or whatever, blah 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 blah, I would figure, wouldn't I think maybe was, and then you would think the, and then somebody else would think maybe. I mean, I feel like with so much individuality between everybody, they would come up with their own word used there that they would put there then. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Everyone says something specifically that's the same. It's a collective oneness of the same, I guess, per se. You know, everyone's saying, oh, I either think it's the or this. It's one or the either. We don't have all these like random different answers. And that's what I feel like is the clue. You know what I mean? And I don't understand why people don't notice this at all. Like, come on, why is everyone collectively remembering the same thing? Even if we are forgetting or we're trying to, like, you know, whatever they try to come up with to, like, deny it, you know? And so, with that being said, and I realized that, I was like, you know what? Screw this. This shit is real. We all have the collective memory somehow, and it's pretty nuts. So, with that being said, I believe it kind of correlates to this movie I saw a long time ago when I was like younger. I'm about 28 now. I'm almost 30. So, when did it come out? I'm gonna say it came out late 90s, early 2000s, or whatever. It's called 12 Monkeys with Bruce Willis. Really good movie, and it's about a virus that, what was it about? Okay, it's about a virus that I guess it destroys the world. You know what I mean? Like AIDS or something, and you can't go to the surface of the planet, or you like can't breathe or something like that. Yada yada yada. So everyone stays underground, and it's like the year 2040 or 50 or something. It's just like way in the future or whatever. And they learn a way to go into the past from like 19, 20, whatever. And so they go to the past. The whole objective is for them to go to the past so they can stop the virus from happening in the first place. You know what I mean? So that the world doesn't go to crap. So they figure out a way to go to the past, and that's exactly what the movie is about. Bruce Willis ends up going to the past. Check it out. Really good movie. Um, but anyways, the whole hypnosis, when it comes down to it, is that no matter what, you can't change the past. And I agree with that. I don't think you can change the past. I don't. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what the movie correlates to, is the fact that you can't change the past. It shows that when they did send somebody to the past and they try to fix it, it always replayed itself backwards like a loop. There was like no way you could get out of it. You know what I mean? The virus still happened. It was amazing to me. I thought to myself, but in the movie, Bruce Willis says this really good line that I really like. I'm actually going to get this tattooed on me because I love it. He says, it's just like what's happening to us, like the past. The movie never changes. It can't change. But every time you see it, it seems different because you're different. You see different things. You can't change anything because it's already happened. And, when he said that, I said, you know what, you're right. Because he's coming from the future back in the past, trying to, like, figure out all that's happening. And while he does that, he realizes when he's going through the past that he recognizes things from dreams. You know what I mean? But everything's different. And of course it's different because he's in the future. It's not really the past, and it always plays in a loop. So every time it's different. You know what I mean? And I feel like that points to exactly what we're going through. I don't feel like the past ever changed. I don't feel like it's turned from that to this. Maybe it is this. Just we're different. Like you and I, whoever is experiencing this, I feel like we're different somehow, if that makes any sense. So I do think the whole time travel or like layering of the universe or something is truly happening, because I don't believe you can change the past. I don't think they're going back and changing everything manually. That's why I think there's no way that it could actually change. Your past can't change, because I remember my past. Ain't nothing changed. I still have the scars from my past. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think that, you know, the past changed. I do necessarily think that maybe you were different somehow.
The main message that I want to tell you and I want to get to first is those that are waking up to the Mandela effect and you're still in that fear. You're still freaked out. And also for those of you that are not just in the fear, but you're starting to realize the rejection from other people. People that you love. And now you're starting to feel really, hurt on top of fear. And then there's some of you, that's my dog scratching, I'm sorry. Some of you have went through the fear and the hurt, and now you're starting to manifest anger and frustration toward those people. When you first start waking up, it's like, wow. Remember how you felt? Like, oh, it's just, I gotta go share this with somebody. And then it's like, when you really realize just how true it is, it's just that fear thing, like, what do you do? And then when you get the rejection of people that you love, hurt. But as humans, we're built. It doesn't matter what we're going through. You're still a human being right now, and you're built with a defense mechanism that, for your own safety, for some reason, we just act this way. We're like onions. We've got a lot of peelings on us. And when our feelings get hurt, or we're afraid, we cover it up with anger. And anger will manifest. And sometimes anger is needed. It's the holding on to it to where you become bitter. That will cause you to just get lost out there in the maze of everything. So don't allow that. So in this moment, I'm here to remind you that no matter what emotion you're caught up in right now, that you're not alone. You've never been alone. You're not alone right now, and you're never going to be alone. No matter what layer of the cake that you're in right now, what part of the understanding that you're in right now, you're not alone. Whatever you think you're seeing, calm down. Calm down. Be still.
What do we have in common? Because apparently everyone cannot experience the Mandela effect. And those of us who can, according to certain individuals with YouTube channels, we are implanted onto this timeline, or we have somehow shifted into a new timeline and a new dimension. For me, I got sick as a dog in 2008 with what the doctors called meningitis. In 2010, I was in my hotel room praying. I'm a devout Christian. I was a devout Christian. I still consider myself a Christian, although reality does have me asking a lot of questions. So I was in my hotel room praying in 2010, and I looked at the clock and it was 9/11. And ever since then, I've been seeing the clock at 9/11. Then 9/11 sort of faded away a little bit. I take that back. It started fading away, and then I started seeing 11/11. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 11:44, and then 111, 222, 333, 444, 555, 666, 777, 888, 999, even 1010. So here's the deal. I am wondering, what is it about those of us who can see it, if that's true? Many people who I have approached with it, and by the way, people have just been acting strange. If it's true that we've jumped timelines, which I would certainly be the first one in another place and another time to tell you that sounds like complete ludicrous, except life has been so strange and dealings with people have been strange. And it's just like, I said to myself, I said, well, hey, you must be hallucinating. You must be going through the dark night of the soul. You must be perhaps having a existential crisis. And I think I did have one. From observing what's going on around me, it's like I was lifted up out of one reality and sat in the middle of another one, which feels very karmic for many reasons, and it feels very, very much like purgatory for a lot of reasons. But I know that in times past, I was one of the kindest people that you could meet, and I literally gave my last to people. I gave so much that people thought I was crazy, and I've tried to reckon with myself what made me so kind over there. And I still have the kindness, but for some reason, life has been coming down on those of us who can see the Mandela effect. Life has been coming down, and it's like your whole reality has imploded, and everything that you thought you knew, upon recognizing that you're in a new place, sort of shifts. And there are certain people that can relate to you and remember you, and it, it's not something that everyone notices, but it's very subtle changes. It's not just the logos. It's not just the logos. It's you. It's us. So give me your thoughts, please. Tell me your thoughts. How do we manage? Is this the fourth and fifth dimension and all that stuff, which I would have been happy to write off many years ago? Were we raptured? Have we been raptured? If we're raptured, then where are we now? What are we doing here? And how do we get out? I thought maybe I was going crazy. Maybe I was schizophrenic. Maybe I'm bipolar. I went to my doctors and said, examine me. What's wrong with me? They said, nothing is wrong with you. But my family could recognize that relationships have shifted. And I am empathic. I was called a prophet in the Christian church. I can read people very well. I'm an empath. I can feel people's feelings and their bodily pains, and I've been paid to do that work before. And as a minister, I did the work for free. So that's who I am. I am very empathic. I'm trying to get some answers. I'm a man that has had answers for others before, and some of you may be able to fill me. At this particular point, I need some answers. If you have any answers or any ideas, theories, if you're not rude, I don't have time for rude people. On this reality or this plane, whatever you call it, it's some assholes over here. And I didn't even used to cuss that bad on the wherever we were. Or if I'm just tripping in times past, I didn't cuss. I didn't have to. I did some, but over here people are terrible. I have no way of expressing how narcissistic the world around me is and how they're trying to shine it on me. Or maybe I'm crazy. So tell me what you think, people. I'm a person like you. You should sense that you're talking to another human being. I'll know if you're not a human being by the stupid crap that you'll leave on my timeline. Don't be insensitive. We're trying to figure this thing out. Give me your experiences. Look to hear from you.